Hundreds of demonstrators have marched through central Rome to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Chanting "Free, Free Palestine," they also demanded an end to the fighting in Lebanon. Israel and Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah have traded almost daily fire since the war in Gaza broke out in October, displacing thousands on both sides of the border. On the 30th of September, Israel launched what it called a targeted ground operation in Lebanon, it says, to find and eliminate Hezbollah positions. There were similar scenes in the Portuguese capital Lisbon, where thousands marched calling for an end to the hostilities in Gaza and criticizing what they say is the complicity of Western governments who sell arms to Israel. The war in Gaza broke out on the 7th of October last year after Hamas militants launched an incursion into Israel, killing around 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages. Ukrainian military recruitment officers have raided venues in the capital, Kyiv, checking military registration documents and detaining men not registered for conscription. Checks took place in restaurants, bars and shopping centres, with witnesses saying some men had been detained. Local media said similar raids were also conducted in clubs and restaurants in other Ukrainian cities, including Kharkiv and Dnipro. All Ukrainian men aged between 25 and 60 are eligible for conscription, and men aged between 18 and 60 aren't allowed to leave the country. Meanwhile, the Russian army has conducted a massive airstrike on civilian infrastructure in the eastern city of Sumy. The regional prosecutor's office said a missile hit a residential neighborhood, damaging a 4-story apartment building. A wave of drones also targeted and damaged local administrative buildings and at least 3 private houses. There have been no reports of any casualties. At least 4 people have been killed in an explosion at a petrol station in Russia's southern region of Chechnya. The explosion of a gas tank triggered a fire at the service station in the regional capital Grozny, according to the emergencies ministry. The ministry also said that 2 children were among the dead. Local media said 7 fire engines and 35 firefighters were deployed to tackle the blaze, which has since been extinguished. Grozny is about 1,500 kilometers south of the capital, Moscow. Regional authorities said the cause of the explosion is unknown, but that a criminal investigation has been opened. Last month, an explosion at a gas station in the neighbouring region of Dagestan killed at least 13 people and injured 23 others.
Just over a year ago,
Alex Salmond, the former First Minister of Scotland, who for decades championed independence, has died at the age of 69. He led the Scottish National Party twice, stepping down in 2014 after the independence referendum, which saw Scots vote to stay in the United Kingdom. Under his leadership, the Scottish Government introduced popular policies such as free NHS prescriptions and free university tuition for Scottish students. He was Scotland's first pro-independence First Minister.
Over 50% of Ukraine's energy infrastructure has been destroyed since Russia's 2022 full-scale invasion. But instead of surrendering to the dark, Ukrainians have turned towards solar to prevent potential power outages. The head of Ukraine's Energy Efficiency Fund explains how the agency is helping keep the lights on during wartime.
Будемо чесними, все ж таки першочергова мета от саме цієї програми, саме зараз, все ж таки дати людям інструмент для того, щоб у них була можливість пройти складний зимовий період. Забезпечити своє життя в своїх будинках. Це першочергова задача цієї програми. Другочергова задача – це дійсно здійснення зеленого переходу, це генерація енергії з чистих джерел, так званих, і точково, але цю проблему програма також вирішує, дійсно.
The agency provides homeowners grants to improve their energy efficiency while paying up to 70% of the costs associated with financing photovoltaic equipment.